telling me to join a different religion, so we're going to talk about that. Why not? Because you guys should know what I believe, because why not? How do I see life, And everybody's like, oh, you say you respect them. You're okay with them believing whatever. But you yourself don't believe it. How does that work out? So you must not like it. We're going to answer that. Look at this car in the meantime. Really nice car. How you doing? Phenomenal. Those are the guys right there. Anyways, I'm going to wait. They're really nice. They can say, want to say hello? There it is. She's awesome. Have a wonderful day. We're going to run it. There's a car coming. There it goes. Thank you. There you go. All right. That's fun. This is awesome. Life is great. You just got to have the right set of eyes for it. So, how do I see it? How do I want to approach this religion concept? If you talk to Christians, they'll say, oh, no, it's not a religion. It's a way of life. If you talk to Sikhs, they will say, oh, it's not a religion, it's a way of life. If you talk to Islam, they say, oh, no, this is definitely, it's a religion of peace, because Islam means peace. If you talk to the Hindus, they will say, oh, look, it was just one God, came back as many different things. It's just light, it's all one. Very peaceful. You need something that comes in every different, they call it jog, different jogs. And so you have different religions believing different. And then Buddhists, like real Buddhists, don't really believe in a God. Then they believe that you're here for, in a sense, they believe that you're here to learn certain stuff. And then when you leave, you become one with the universe. It's like every religion has something going for it. Hello, by the way. They have something they believe. But personally, I don't want to associate myself into atheism, for example, because then you're in a cult again. Like, hey, are you an atheist then? No, because a lot of atheists don't believe in anything. Like, they don't believe. My thinking is that there's certain things I know, certain things I don't know, but I definitely don't believe that there's something out there looking down at us for many reasons. Hey, I'm from Brazil. Hey, welcome to the live. Somebody asked me a question in my last live, and they wanted me to clarify because they were trying to get me to be Muslim. And I was like, look, oh, hold on. Said hi, hey, hello. So the point is, I was just talking about, they're like, well, if you don't really believe in Islam or Christianity or Buddhist or Hindu, and you have all this knowledge of all of them, why? What do you believe? What do you know that makes you think for sure? And I told them, well, basically common sense. When we're born into this earth, we're born with this special, I'm going to go this way, actually, right now. We're born with this special language. All babies kind of speak it. When they're hungry, they cry a different cry. When they're sad, for something like, they're not sad. Like maybe they're hungry, maybe their diaper needs to change. It could be a few things. Maybe they need to go to sleep. Maybe something hurts. So they have different cries for all of that. Hello, Sherry, how are you? They have different things, right? They have already a language. Well, since we are more evolved than other animals and species, in many ways, in some ways not, because we're not jellyfish. We can't live and keep coming back to life. But in some ways, right, we have a gift. And we're born into a system. Any culture you're born into, any religion you're born into, any country you're born into, all of that gets brainwashed into our brains. Hey, you are this flag, you are this color, There's this many people that like your color, this many people that don't like your color. If they like you, this is how you'll know. If they don't like you, this is how you'll know. And by the way, people will tell you this is wrong, this is right. You have to make sure you keep fighting for your religion and your culture and your language and your everything. And that's just how we grew up. And that gets fit into this lovely little hard drive. And then we don't judge it. We don't go, well, why? How? And the reason I don't say atheist is the same reason, because I don't want to necessarily just associate in a group that's called something. All I know is that I don't believe in a so-called person out there waiting down, looking down at us for many reasons. I can give you a couple. One would be somebody goes and thinks about, because he knows your thoughts in this case, right? That's what everybody says. In all the religions, they say that he knows what you're thinking too. So you don't know it, but he knows it. And always a he most of the time. Most of the time. And then you're like, okay. And they're like, well, he knows your thoughts. So I'm like, well, what about the people that think about little kids and they think, I'm going to find that kid, then I'm going to rape that kid. I'm going to do this, or I'm going to kill that kid, or I'm going to do this to this kid. They're thinking it already. They're already thinking it, and then they're planning it. Now they're going to the kid, and they might be doing certain stuff. You never know. Or they're just planning it, and they're going to just do their thing. Well, where's that God? Why doesn't he go, no, I'm going to be there and not going to let that happen? Well, he's just watching, right? So in a logical sense, common sense way, you would think, well, wouldn't you? Like, let's say you know everything. And you know your ancestors, like you know that my grandpa committed a sin, let's say. Even though I love my grandpa, he was the most nicest guy I've ever known. Everybody says that. Anybody that knows him. But let's assume that, just as a second, right? Let's just assume that, because that wouldn't even make sense. That's why it's easy to give an example of him, because he wasn't like that at all. So let's say he had done that. Wouldn't you look at the new kid, like me in this case, as family, right? To me, I am your family. I judge you by your character, you by your actions, not what your grandpa did. In many other religions, it's just, this guy did this, so now all of the people are suffering. Come on, man. Like, what? I thought he's loving. Yeah, but, like, and then they say, but, oh, somebody already died, to forgive you on that. Hey, all right, sorry I didn't give you any love today. All right. See, he knows now. Bye-bye. And then he wanted attention. I go by here and then, yeah. Anyways, that's love. They know. Hey. So the point is, what do I believe then? What do I think? Who am I? Personally, who am I? Who is this person? Well, I was given a name by my parents, then messed up in the book. Then when I came to America as a little kid, I was given a different name by my teachers. They did it as a compliment, right? They started calling me Harvey. And all of a sudden, that's the name that stuck with everybody. That's just a number plate, right? Just like the government gives me a number, and that's pretty much like my name. Same thing with our family. They gave us something. It's usually associated with the heart of something, right? Like Harvey, there was a show called Sabrina the Teenage Witch. There was a guy named Harvey in there. Well, he was a nice guy. He was loving. So what happened? My teachers said, man, we never thought somebody would be this kind and loving. As a compliment, as kindness, kind gesture, since it could be used in both names, can we call you Harvey? I said, hey, you call me whatever. With love, anything is fine, right? Love is love. You call me Harvey. And then some people called me Raja because they were like, you're the king, you're the awesome. I didn't stick with that after high school because I don't really think I'm king of anything. Harvey means warrior, and warrior means what? You're fighting for the right thing, right causes. And for me, my right cause is knowledge, trying to learn and understand people, understand each other. Is anybody bored here? Let me know. And thank you for the likes. Let's see here. There's somebody from Brazil. Say hello to them again. Hello, hello. Sherry, hello again. So, where was I? We were talking, well, we're in the middle of the street somewhere. The point is, I was talking to you guys because you guys wanted to know since I understand most religions. Oh, thank you. This guy was nice. Thank you. Lady was nice. Tesla too, look at that. What happens? So my thinking changed in a sense as I grew up. I was born into a Sikh family, and Sikhs wear turbans. And then as I grew up, I wanted to find who I was. And when I looked into the world, I realized something. I realized that the only thing we're here for as humans, what I found is just connecting, sharing information, and that goes back into the earth. And the earth, without the earth, we wouldn't exist. Everything we call life that we know of is only because of earth. And earth is only like that because of certain things hitting it at the right time, at the right thing. And some people go, boy, see, isn't that a sign? Yeah, it's a sign that there's billions of planets and billions of galaxies. In those billions of galaxies, only one that we know of so far. Because of all the different possibilities, just like having a deck of you pulling out the same card. After billions of chances, you could pull out one of the same card, right? Shuffle the same way, the deck. One time. That's like Earth. Earth is billions of different things shuffling and one of them working out so that there's life on Earth. I'm gonna sit here actually. So, for me, Earth is a coincidence, a big one, but it's a very happy, beautiful coincidence. And the fact that I get to explore me, this whole universe is me, and I am the universe, for a fraction of the time, and be able to look up at the sky and everything and observe different parts of me and the state they're in now, that's data, that's beautiful. And as I evolve, and you know what, if you look at your parents, you talk to your parents, hello, in the past, you talk to your parents, they'll say, man, kids today are like a computer, And before that, parents used to say, kids are like a TV, It's like anything that is the newest technology, they're like, man, kids today, man, they are so sharp, they're so smart. Oh my God, what do they eat? The reason is we're evolving, and that's proof of evolving still. And for me, the only purpose of it as a human is, since we evolved so much, and we already killed off all the ones that were not as smart as us, and we used our brain to our advantage, and got rid of them, and even hunted down a lot of beautiful animals and things. At this point in time, we have things like internet. We have things that could connect the data together for us and teach us things better. So it could be a good and a bad thing, just like anything else. Just like we killed off so many different species and things, bad thing. And we helped so many survive, great thing. Like lions, we're looking after a lot of different lions because they're going extinct. That's a great thing. So We have the possibility of doing good or bad as humans. But is everything 100% under our control? Not at all. Because I could be going down the street and somebody hit me with a car, right? Well, what did I ever do for that guy to hit me with a car? If there's a God now, I would have to say, God did it, you know? And then that doesn't look good on God, right? Like, why would he? I'm a nice guy. I love everybody. And why would somebody that's called God go out of his way today and make sure somebody else loses their attention for a second and hit me? Makes no sense, right? So ultimately what I do believe is there's a chance. Just like everything in life is a chance. It's like a probability. Like I was saying, a deck of cards is a probability. What are you gonna get in that deck? Shuffled the same way, millions of tries later, it might be shuffled the exact same way. But chances of all the cards being shuffled exactly the same way next time, not as easy. Not as easy. That's not. Probability is you could try your whole life, right? Maybe you'll get it once. Maybe if you're lucky, you get it once. That's the same thing with this earth and life. I could think whatever I want. I'm going to be like this today. Life is not fully in my control. Does that mean it's under somebody else's control? That's just crazy. It's a probability. Why? Because you woke up and said life is under your control. Somebody else woke up and said life is under their control. I woke up and said life is under my control. Well, we're both trying to do the same thing. Now we're both, all 4, 5, 7, how many ever people that thought the same thing are on the street. We all wanted to get chocolate cake, for example. We go to the same store, we go and there's only one chocolate cake. One person gets what they want. But if we were all connected, see, we could all get a slice. But nobody is connected yet. So ultimately, it's a probability. Chances of somebody getting a cake or not in the same cake is very slim. But somebody will get one. They thought it, they got it. But not everybody. And that's what life is. It's a probability. And for me to be able to explore life while I'm here, first of all, that's an illusion. Because I never posted a card to anybody saying, hey, I want to be born. But you know where I was? This whole body is not me. You're like, what are you talking about? Well, things I eat or things I pick up, things I drink are all little molecules. They're different atoms and stuff. Well, today the atoms that are running this body are different from what it was a year ago. So this body that I think is my body, well, whose body? The brain's body? Whose body? Because a year ago, this whole body was not me. This was, some of it was a rabbit, some of it was spinach, some of it was a strawberry drink somewhere. This became this at this point in time based on what I ate. So for me, I look at people's actions. I don't need to look at what religion they're in. I don't need to look at what type of culture they believe in, what different things they celebrate. I would love to celebrate those with you, even if you call them different religion celebrations. I don't mind. If they're fun, I'm more than willing to. But if you tell me you have to be in the cult to do it, no thank you. You know, for me, love equals loving without any conditions. For me, love means I love you no matter what you believe, because it's a probability already. You're a different planet than I am, and that's okay. You can't be like me. You're beautiful the way you are. Why do you want to be like me? I don't want to be like anybody. I want to be like me. And that's what I believe. I believe I'm special in my own way, and some things are not going to make people happy. Other things are going to make people happy about me. That's just a probability like every other thing in life. But my job is to not hate them, because they don't understand. They don't have that knowledge. So for me, my God is knowledge, the right knowledge. Because everybody has knowledge, but the right knowledge will set you free. It will make you understand what love really is. It will actually let you love people. So there you go. I'm stationary. Nobody's like, what's going on? But the point is, that's how I see things. For me, we're all one. We're all equal. We don't believe the same thing. We don't eat the same thing. We don't walk the same path. But you know what? A lot of our thinking could match. And we're still people. And we're still ticking. We still have desires and wants. And for me, my want is just to explore and to chat with you guys. That's my want and desire. So there you go. Now you know. And if somebody says, well, look, in this book it says this is how, well, maybe we'll find out as I live my life. I'm not going to say it's true or not until I figure it out, that one part. But there could be something in the book that I agree with. That doesn't make me part of the cult. It just makes me go, I experienced that same thing. And that one thing I do agree with. And then somebody, it says that in our book. And I'm like, well, great. Now it's in 2 books. That means more people did the same research and they got the same answer. So they believe it. Doesn't mean they're right. It just means that more people believe the exact same thing. And that's what I believe. I believe in love. And I believe in that's okay, So now that everybody wanted to know what I believe, and if I believe in some God up there, I don't. But I believe this universe is one, is all connected. Universes, if you want to call it. We are all connected. And it is one. It's going back into the one, if you want to look at it that way. And if you want to call that God, you can. Whatever. But I definitely don't believe there's somebody in the sky waiting, going, I hope he comes to me one day. I believe this is heaven already. It's beautiful. If somebody comes in with weapons and kills me, that's on them. It's a probability. But as far as I go, I love everybody equally. So there you go. Now, that's pretty much it. Any questions? 0 questions. None so far. Walk on out of here because I'm gonna get in trouble. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead. Be my guest. Does the man control the universe or does universe control the man? Yeah, exactly. I was saying the same thing. I was saying that there's no such thing for me personally. So it looks like you believe the same thing. This universe is one. And nothing really... Okay, now that I'm here, nobody really controls me in a sense, right? But the probability of me coming here was a chance, right? It wasn't like... Hold on, let me... It wasn't like somebody destined me to be here. There were so many things that lined up perfectly. My mom ate that spinach and my dad ate that cow. I'm just kidding, not a cow. But anything, it doesn't matter. The point is, some stuff happened and then they made it. And then perfect amount of cells out of that one cell that came as a sperm. Boom. And then, as a chance, I was born. Right? Even that one same day, another one could have made the race right before me. And then afterwards, this whole body is changing all the time. Whatever I eat, the body's always not even the same body. It may look and is structured together the same. But I'm telling you, it's not the same. You are not you. Because last year, you might have ate a spinach or broccoli or whatever, candies. All of that was different. This year, a lot of that stuff that you ate last week, you were definitely more of that. those cells. And I, whatever I call I, will be recycled. Boom! Recycled into the universe, back into this earth. And those will become something, you know? And does that mean they're mean? No, it's just, no. Mean doesn't exist. What is truly life? Like I was saying, life is just a chance, right? Life is whatever you make it, to a degree, because even that's a chance. I was just talking about that. You go down the street, somebody hits you with a car. You didn't want that. I'm sure they didn't want that, hopefully. Oh man, there's all kinds of people. But it happened. So not everything is in your control, but you can definitely get an outcome if you really want to. Like for example, if I want to learn to draw or sing, I can definitely get closer and closer the more I put myself in it. Like I have to go get a job every day, right? I have to work every day because I got to pay the bill. I'm stuck with that. That wasn't my choice. But that was a choice because this universe itself, you know what? I'm going to walk that way. Way more beautiful. I'm going to go that way. It's safer too. The universe itself, if you think about it, the universe itself everything that you see, this thing called life that people created, these streets, a lot of people worked their brains out and they fought for things like that. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, somebody wanted cars. Like, not cars, sorry. Buses in America, for example. They wanted buses to stop for kids and make sure all the other cars and everything stops when the kids are coming off the bus. Well, great. That's awesome. Now, what happened? Why did they want that? Chance was his son or daughter, well, not just chance, I just don't remember exactly what it was. It was a long time ago that I ran into it, passed away because they were crossing the road after school, getting off the bus, and they passed away. The city wouldn't do anything about it. A lot of other people got together and they had the same thing going on with them. And they wanted that rule. They wanted other kids to be safer. They saw other kids as the same. We're one collective. So once they saw that, a good conclusion came out of it. Right? What was that? How do I say your name, by the way? Socrates. I don't know what your real name is. What came out of it? Well, in the beginning, a bus driver would have to come out, put cones around, and then that would make the buses stop, have the kids go, come back, collect the cones, and then as technology evolved, there was a stop sign, they made rules. Hey man, this is crazy, we could use a stop sign in the bus. Slowly evolved into what it is today. People fought for that. Now that is good knowledge. That is good knowledge. That is a good thing in the system that's already created. Since cars are already created, there's nothing we could really do to get rid of the cars at this point. They're here. They're here to stay. There was a problem with that. So what do? They made the situation that was bad good, safer. And how did they make that safer? By having buses pull out stop signs to make sure kids cross safely. And why did that happen? Because one person's kid died and he found more people that had kids die that way, or at least believed in the mission ultimately. But in many cases, that was the truth. That was what helped to sign the bill. And since there was more collective problem and they made it work, he fought for it. He kept the mission the same. He kept that as a goal. That happened. Somebody could argue, well, that was already predestined, but that's not what I believe personally, because it's a choice. Your life is a choice to a degree. And in the choice. You don't know what that guy that's coming, what their choice is, right? You don't know if they're thinking the right way. You don't know if they're upset. You don't know if they're going to look at me and go, hey, why were you pointing that way? And just come shoot me. That's a different probability, right? That's part of life. That can happen. But ultimately though, the real only big truth is, if I want to be an artist, I want to be something, I can keep, even though I have to work, now I have to go to our job. Like I was telling you, there's already houses and things. When I was born into this system as a human, that's what's expected in many regards. Already, this is working. A lot of humans fought for that, right? So I was taught that, all those rules, hopefully. Now I'm in that system, right? Within that system, I can find a way. Like, for example, Steve Jobs. He said, no, I want a new system. So today we're talking on the internet with a phone device. But you know what? That might have already happened. But the fact that he came up with the very first computer and people to use computers and then use that internet within the computer to chat, make all these things, and Facebook came, MySpace came, and which evolved, even though they're gone, it evolved the chat. All those things did contribute in some way. You can't say their life went for a loss. Just because the company went away doesn't mean they didn't contribute to something and to society. They definitely did. Sometimes there's greedy people that steal what they did and they don't recognize them for their hard work, and they steal their whole hard work. Sadly, there's people like that. And then, now that they're gone, and people aren't taught that right knowledge, that we need to start thinking that way, people just jump onto the new thing. Oh, look, this one has more things. Or maybe because it solves a better problem. The other person is not willing to do that, not willing to change with the time or solve a better problem for people. So those people change for whatever reasons. There's different reasons. Everybody has their own reason. Somebody might hate the guy that owns it. Everybody, like I said, it's a probability, right? For many different reasons that MySpace might fail, but we cannot think of Facebook without MySpace even today. At least all the tech enthusiasts won't. So back to what I was saying. Steve Jobs, I'm not promoting one guy here, I'm just giving you an example, kept fighting for one thing. For that one thing. He kept fighting for it. And boom, he got computers. He got let go. He kept fighting for movies, 3D movies. We got 3D movies today. So what is the conclusion of that? The conclusion is that the end result is that we as humans cannot control our full life. We can't control every outcome. There's gonna be sadness, there's gonna be happiness, there's gonna be anger, there's gonna be other probabilities. Every day there will be. But what we can choose is what we do with our time when things are going our way, and when we can control what we can do. What do we do with our time? And some people want to be artists, so they control their time to be more and more good at art. They become phenomenal at it. And then there's somebody nice that wants to encourage them, that don't want to discourage them. So they say, you are a great artist. They might not be. Doesn't matter. But they tell them that. You know what that makes that person go? Practice more. And you know what makes perfect? Practice makes perfect. So that person keeps practicing to be an artist. And now today he might get recognized as an artist. Isn't that amazing? And for me, that's life. For me, whatever you put your heart to and you keep doing over and over again will be what you become. And if you keep practicing being unhappy, you will be unhappy. How you doing? Have a wonderful day. See? You had a smile. So, but sometimes, because of all the probabilities of everything, you get stuck with people that are unhappy, that forcefully make you unhappy. You gotta be able to adapt and say, I don't care how hard I have to fight and who I have to fight. I gotta get out of this. Then you will. For your happiness. Because your life is whatever you want to make it to a degree. And the more you do one thing and the more you know yourself, who you want to be in this world, the more you find who you are, the answer becomes life is that. But you make it. So, there you go. That's what I found out about life. Life is whatever I make it. Life is not 100% of everything I want to do. It's my neighbor. Life is definitely all those things that I want to make it. Like me, I wanted to be an actor. When I was young, I wanted to be an actor, but my dad would beat the heck out of me and said, what? You are a son of a Sardar, Sikh guy. What are people? Everybody respects me for that. You want to take that away? See? He controlled my life. Didn't see me as a human. He saw me as his property. His son had to do what he said. I thought he might be religious, but he doesn't know the point of life. He's definitely stuck in his own image. That's not how things should be. Man, for all I care, somebody could come up, my daughter could come up and say she wants to be a stripper. I might not like that. I might be like, what? Why? People are going to look at you weird. I raised you. That's like, she's going to say, look, it makes me a lot of money. I cannot control her. I can guide her. I can tell her, look, personally, I think you're beautiful. You're so smart. You have so many. Is that what you want to do? And she said, yes. Life is a probability. I can't have everything I want. But what I can do is make me what I want to be. So when I was younger, I wanted to be an actor. My dad would beat the heck out of me. No. And you know what happened? I was stupid. I didn't fight. I didn't fight for the key. Success for my open, I didn't fight for it. I just let him, and I was scared that people would make fun of him. I loved him so much. When his love was different. Same thing with my mom. My mom didn't understand back then that she doesn't own me. She says sorry sometimes now and says, you know what, I didn't know any better. We were just kids. We were trying to learn, and priests would tell us stuff, and that's what we did. So the problem wasn't the fact that they were bad people. The problem was they didn't have the right knowledge. And when you have the right knowledge, only then can you see things the right way. And that's what makes life beautiful. Yeah. Life is beautiful. And if somebody's making it not so beautiful, you should have the courage to be like, no, I am out of here. I love you. It's tough for me. You think it's not you think it's easy for me? No. But I have to, because you are forcing yourself on me. It's not going to work out well. And that's it. At the end of the day, you have to love everybody. Not have to, you should love everyone. And just because they are not in your cult or in your group and your thinking doesn't necessarily make them wrong. And that's what's beautiful. You can't be controlling. What do you say to that? Anybody? Hopefully I answered your question. You went away, it looks like. But for me, that's life. Life is whatever you want to make it. Not 100%. Because, yeah. We'll talk about clothes and stuff next time, because somebody even asked me, what do you think about wearing this clothes or that clothes? We'll talk about that next time, because this was a huge topic. And now it's good for me because I've spent 40 minutes. If anybody has any questions ever, I can just send them this live. I'll be like, this is it. This is how I see life. How do you see life? I would love to know how you see life. And I don't believe I have all the answers, but I do know that I have the core understanding of being able to live my life. Excuse me. Where is this thing? Here. So does anybody have any questions for me? Everybody just left. They're like, this guy talking too much. Let me take this off now. You can see my beautiful eyes. Anybody? Anybody have any questions? Anything you want to talk about? I have no problems talking about anything you guys want to talk about. But yes, I don't believe in God's name is Allah or Ram or Jesus or God or Waheguru. No, I don't. Or that there is that type of God. I don't believe that, personally. But, again, I judge based on your actions. If you hurt people, you try to do bad to people, then that would make me think that you yourself are not doing right. But that wouldn't make me think, oh, everybody that's in this cult or religion or whatever you want to call it is bad. I would not think that. Man, I'm thirsty as heck. Let's drink some water. See, Coke. I could drink Coke, but why don't I? Or this thing that I'm making later, I'm going to make. But I could drink something. But why water? Why do I choose water? It's the healthier option. That's why. And we are made up of more than 70% water. That's what they say. Just like Earth is made up of more than 70% water. All right, guys. I wish it would charge better. There it is. I'll put this here like this. Nope. There. Now that's gonna work out good. See? Now I can sit right here, talk to you guys while I drink this fun water. That much of water just became me. So should I call it water or should I call it me? Isn't it beautiful? And I think I should just call it me. All right, guys. I think I should go for now. I'll come back and talk about something different another day. Tired. I got a lot to do. I'm going to clean my room, and maybe in the next live, I'll show you guys that. Cleaning stuff that I'm doing. All right. Sorry if I bored anybody and they wanted to talk about something else and maybe something was bugging them. You guys can always talk about anything you want, by the way. That's the whole point. But I wanted to answer this question for people that were asking me for days, guys. All right, so I'm going to get off this live. I appreciate you guys coming by. And thanks to all the people that subscribed and the likes. Peace out.